Good afternoon, everybody. How are we all? Gosh, there's a fair few of you here already. You're all early birds today, aren't you? Hi, Karen. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Connie. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Suzette. Hi, Jean. Hi, Bonnie. Hope my sound and picture are okay. I will try and get rid of a bit of the glare by holding these a bit differently in a minute. But that's the trouble when you're sitting by a window and your light's overhead and you've got sort of plastic packaging. It's they're not conducive to work together, are they really? Hi, Pauline. Hi, Janet. Hope you've got your pen and paper ready, Janet. Hi, Anne. Sun shining here. Yeah, it's trying here. It's a little bit milder, but it's cold wind. So let's have a look who's on the group. Hi, Andrea. Hi, Patricia. Well, it's nice to see so many of you here. I know all the product is now loaded onto Create and Craft, but it's not available to buy yet. I know the price will drop round about 5 o'clock tonight, and I would hazard a guess that the product won't go live much before that, if at all. You can buy the whole lot. You can buy the little bundles that Lisa showed you on Friday. Hi, Diane Cross Crafts, new to Lisa Horton Crafts. Fabulous. Well, welcome to the group. Welcome to the addiction. And we'll make room for you on the naughty step, because that's where everybody ends up. So yeah, as I was saying, full collection, the little groups that Lisa showed you on Friday. And then if you wanted to buy little individual items, you know, we can't all afford everything all at the same time, much as I would like to. So everything is available separately. So if there's something you particularly like and you want to get that now and then get the rest later, then you can do. Loaded at 3 and price drops at 5. Thanks, Lisa. It's I mean, the pictures on Create and Craft look fantastic. It looks great. The only picture they haven't added at the moment is the whole bundle, but I'm sure that will come. Hi, Alex. Quite right, Connie. It's where everybody ends up, isn't it, on that naughty step? But, you know, it's comfortable. Hey, Tracey. No, no pressure. Tracey's watching and Tracey's colouring's amazing. And mine's not. Never mind. Right. I will show you the things I'm going to be using today. I'm not using something from every piece of the collection. I'm only using elements. So I'm using this one, this snorkeling hippo. I see lots of those. I love this one, this little giraffe mermaid. I think this is amazing. Have I used him? Yes, I've used him. And this one, this is my favourite. This little crocodile fella here with his little snorkel and his little fat belly. I think he's gorgeous. I'm using a couple of the sentiments. This one, I think, and this one. So a little dose of vitamin C and Life's a Beach, Find Your Wave. And I just think they're such clever little sentiments. They're great. And I'm using this stamp here, this little bubbles set. I think this is genius. Absolute genius. I love that. So those are the stamps I'm using. I may well use some of the washi stickers. I haven't quite made up my mind. So I might not have reached a sheet of them out just in case I want to use them. I've also used the embossing folder, the bubbles one, because the depth on it is great. The effect it gives is fantastic, and it just adds to the papers. I think it's a beautiful little folder, and I'm using some of the papers. I think I've used this one. Yeah, this one I think I've used. Or it might even be, no, that one I've used. but they are gorgeous papers, and the bubbles are so soft. These bubbles, I think, are the same size as the stickers, so the largest bubble will fit the largest sticker, and I think that's such a clever idea. And these little heart papers, I think, are really clever. You need an image and a sentiment, you've got your card made. How clever is that? It's just pure genius. So your stamps and your dies come on separate sheets. So you've got your stamps on one sheet, and then your dies will come on a piece of card. I've taken mine off the card, and I always put them in a little bag. And you can see I've got other images stamped out and sentiments already stamped out. So I've sort of had a bit of a stamping episode, if you like, and I've just gone ahead and just stamped loads of stuff. Now I've left the QR code as the Create and Craft website because I know the goods don't go live until thank you, Tracey. I know the goods don't go live until 5 o'clock, but there are a lot of other fantastic offers on as well. Don't worry, Lisa. You beat me to it because I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Lisa's Fabulous Glue is back on Create and Craft. It's a pack of 2 and it's $17.98. And I think that is a fantastic price, because this glue is, I say it every time, don't I? I never use anything else, and I'm pretty sure that I'm 99.9% safe in saying neither do any of the other DT members. We all use this glue. It's amazing. It's just, you don't need much. You've still got wiggle room if you need it. It's genius. The other things that are on, the magnetic mat is on offer. It's $16.99 instead of $19.99, so that's a good deal as well. The Ultimate 2 is on a really silly price. That's $39.99. The pigment inks are on, obviously, and I'm going to use the pigment inks today. You've also got volume 2 of the blending inks, and they are a silly price. They're $59.99 and they're normally $71.88. So, you know, that's really good price for those. And the other 2 little embossing folders that are on work amazingly well with this collection, and they are the Whitewash Shells and the Life's a Beach. Both $8.99, and they just fit with this set brilliantly. I used I think it was the Life's a Beach on my little crocodile one that I put in the group this morning, and it just all matches. It's fantastic. So, you know, there are things already there that will work with this set as well, which is what I always say about Lisa's product. Everything works with everything. And that brand new Hello Die set, that's also on offer. That's $16.99 rather than $19.99. So there's some fabulous offers apart from this collection. And I think somebody's already mentioned in the group this morning that the collection is a really, really good price, even before the price drops. So once the price has dropped as well, it's going to be a really, really, really good price. So let me put my little card up that says what we're going to be using, just so that I've got you a list there. Do you like my little background? I thought I've got to make it all tie in, so it's all bubbles. So everything that I've used today, I've not used any dies other than what's in the set, because the card I'm making doesn't need me to use any dies. So I'm going to be making it's just a fun fold card, really. It hasn't really got a name. It was one that I found on Pinterest. So was it Pinterest? Yeah, Pinterest. So I've actually changed some of the measurements. So the measurements are for the card that I'm going to make, because the one I saw was a little bit short, and I didn't think it left me enough room on the panels. So if I flip that over to the card measurements, I know there's a lot there, but it's straightforward. It looks a lot, but it is really quite simple and quite straightforward. Okay, so I'm going to go through it as it's written there. All right, so your base piece of card needs to be 10 3/4 by 6. So your long piece, 10 3/4, and that's where you're going to do all your score lines, on the long side of the card. All right. So you're going to score it. I'll just open this out at 1 5/8. And I know people don't like working in eighths, but they are really easy. If I can do them, anybody can do them. So we're going 1 2 3 4 5/8, 1 5/8 there, and we're just going to score that there. Then we're going to score it at 3 1/4 there, and then we're going to whiz it along and do 7 1/2. And this is going to give you your panels at the side and your base card in the middle. And then the last one is 9 1/8. So that's just there. Okay, so I don't think I need that anymore. Put that to one side. And then we're just going to fold this to give us our base card. Okay, I know I've written the measurements here, but I'm going to hide that in a minute, so it's not going to matter. So working from this end, you're going to mountain fold that one and burnish it. And then you're going to valley fold it, and make sure you keep your card level, because you don't want it all wonky, otherwise it won't stand up straight. And then this side is going to be valley, and then the last one will be your mountain fold. So just make sure that that is absolutely level, and then fold that back on itself to do your mountain fold. Okay, so you've got this sort of like gatefold card that is going to stand up on its own. Okay, so then we're going to show you the pieces that go on the actually on the card. Okay, so the piece that's going in the back here, so this piece here, I've done my designer paper as my base layer. On the others it's all the other way around. Okay, so that's my base layer, and that measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that's that first measurement on the list there. So your inside panel, layer 1, 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, and that's going there. And then this piece is where people are going to write their sentiment, their greeting, or whatever, and that measures 3 1/2 by 5 1/4. Excuse me. And that is going to sit here like so, and I'm going to sit it a little bit higher up than central, okay, because I want my little character to sit down here, but I want him to sit on the designer paper rather than on the card. All right, I'm going to do something with this before I glue this down, so then I'll show you the other two panels. So the bigger panel here is going on this side. I'll bring it down so you can see it, that would help, wouldn't it? The bigger panel's going on this side, and then there's a smaller panel that's going on this side. Okay, but this panel, when the card closes, is going to slide under that one. Okay, it's dead clever. So your base card for this is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, and my designer paper, which I don't know whether you can see, I've already embossed with that fabulous Bubbles embossing folder. How cool is that? And that measures 3 by 5 1/4. So I've come down 1/4 of an inch on all my matting and layering. Okay, so that's going on there. And then the smaller panel is going on this side, and the white card measures 2 3/4 by 5, and the designer paper, which again I've embossed with that Bubbles embossing folder, and that is 2 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay, so if I add these down here, and then we can just put these to one side before I just put a little bit of stamping on that white panel that's going on the inside. So if I pop this down on here, we'll get everything ready, and then actually putting the card together really doesn't take any time at all. So if I push that so that that sits central. As I said, you've got a little bit of wiggle room with that glue if you're not quite centralised, but you won't have an awful lot of time because it's got such a good grab to it that once it's down, it's down. It's not going to go anywhere, and it's certainly not going to fall apart within 3 weeks of somebody receiving this card. So it's really good glue. Okay, and then that one's going on there. So those are my 2 panels that are going on the front. Dear me. Okay, so this one, as I say, I've swapped them round and I've put my designer paper as my backing piece, and then my white card on the top, so that somebody's got somewhere to write their sentiment, their greeting, whatever. But I wanted to put something on this card, but I wanted to make it sort of a background image. I don't want it to overpower where somebody's going to write their greeting. Okay, so I'm using this little bubbles stamp, and then I thought, well, which ink will I use? I've gone with Tranquil Waters because it matches, the colour matches my colour scheme that I've coloured my little images with. Okay, but if I just show you the difference between the colour that you get with the pigment ink and the colour that you get with the blending ink, I mean, they are the same colour in effect, but the pigment ink, I think, will always give you a lighter colour. So that's first generation, second generation, and that's really what I'm looking for. So if I just do third generation, I might even go with that one. So if I hold it up, can you see the difference? First generation, second generation, third generation, and that really, I think, is the one I'm looking for. But if I was to use the blending ink, just move that out of the way, the blending ink for me gives a much darker image. See what I mean? So that's first generation, second generation, third generation. Now for me, that third generation there is very similar to the second generation on the pigment. But if you look at the difference between the two on first generation, your pigment ink will give you a lighter colour. And I think that's the one I'm going to go for. I'm going to use the pigment inks on this occasion because it's the lightest colour that I want, really. So if I just get rid of as much of my ink on there as I can, don't want that. And then what I'm going to do, actually I do need that. So I ink my stamp, take it down, and I'm literally going very randomly onto my card here in different directions so that I've got a sort of a background, but not a background, if you know what I mean. I don't want it to be totally obvious. Obviously I want people to be able to see it, but I don't want it to overtake the background. People are going to write on this, and I want them to be able to write on it and people read what they've written without the stamping interfering with that. But I just want that little bit of interest in the background because I think it's clever. And you can do as many or as few as you want, really. Totally up to you. I think we'll just do a couple more and then leave it at that. Okay, so I've got a little bit of stamping in the background, but it's not too in your face. Okay, so if I lift that up so that you can see it, see what I mean? There isn't going to be enough ink in the background there to interfere with somebody writing on that piece of card, but it just gives it something a little bit more interesting than blank card. Yeah. So we can now put this down on here, and then we can start and add our panels to our card. I'll move this out of the way. So I'm going to pop this down here, and as I said, I'm going to put it slightly higher than central. It does, doesn't it, Chris? I think it's a genius little stamp. It's for me, it's those little touches that really set these apart from other sets, other brands. I think it's just so clever. I think the other little stamp set has got a little 3 fishes stamp in it, like that one's bubbles. I think the other set's got three little fishes together, and I think that's genius as well. Okay, so there's my card that's going on the back panel here, so we'll add that down, and then we can start and add the other two panels, and then I'll show you how we're going to get that big panel to disappear behind that smaller panel. It's a little bit fiddly, but it's well worth it, I think, because it just looks good when it's done. So pop that down there, and I've left myself the same sort of border all the way round. This isn't going sort of higher or lower or whatever. That's just going there in the background. I'm going to put something else on there in a minute as well. So then this one is going, as I said, on this side, and I just want it so that it fits similar to where this panel is in the card. So if I lift it up slightly, you see where that back panel is on the back there. This one is a similar size, so I know that it's going to be sort of in the middle. Okay, I'm not going to leave myself too much down this side, because when you fasten this card up, that's going to sit over there like that, and this one is going to sit over the top. Okay, so we can put this one down, but I only want glue in, I've done my pencil, I only want glue in a certain area, because I don't want to go all over that card, otherwise it's going to stick in the middle. So I'm adding my glue down here. Now I just drew three little pencil lines on there so that I know my glue is going on here and not over these lines. Okay, and then I shall rub those out in a sec. So we're going all the way down here, and I would just say be a little bit more generous than normal with your glue on the back here, and then you're not gonna lose that panel. So before I just put this card down, I'm just going to get rid of those little pencil lines, because once I've put the card down, I don't want them to be visible. Okay, so then we're going back on here with this, like so, making sure that it sits just on top of that panel that's in the back of the card. Okay, so it should all line up. Okay, so you've got your back panel and that panel that sits on the top, and it lines up beautifully. Okay, so then I want this to sit there, and I want this piece to sit slightly above it. Okay, so I want this piece to sit so that I've got the same top and bottom showing on this panel behind the smaller one. All right, so what I need to do is just draw myself some little lines around here, and again I'm going to rub these off in a minute. Okay, and here I'm going to add some 3D pads. You can use whatever pads you've got in your stash. I mean, these are from Lisa, but you want to make sure that they just fit and you've got sort of no overhang or anything like that. So I'm going to put one at the bottom there, one at the top, try and line them up, one at the top here, and one in the middle. And don't think that I will need to add the smaller pieces in here. If you want to, you can, but I honestly don't think you'll need it. Okay, so what we're going to do is line this up here so that we're within our pencil lines. I'm hoping that I'm still going to have enough room to rub them out afterwards. Okay, I'm just going to whip the tops off these pads here, and then I'm just going to put that down there like so. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it works. So when I shut the card, that's going to slide behind there. Okay, and it's not going to catch on anything. It sits behind there beautifully because you've just got that little bit of height on this panel on this side. It's so easy, but it's so effective, and it will sit nicely when you stand your card up. It's not going to have enough weight on the front that it's going to fall over. Well, I hope not anyway. Yeah, I must admit, Colleen, I was surprised, but I think it's, I mean, I don't know why, but you can tell it's the same colour. And if you wanted to, I'm sure you could make the pigment heavier by sort of putting more pressure or whatever. But I like the fact that I can get different different weights of image, if you know what I mean, the different depths of ink on my card. Okay, so now I need to decorate. So as I said, I've used certain of the images. So I've got my little hippo. Now I've coloured these with pencils, and I think I used a mixed media card to colour these on, and I've sort of I've tried to follow the colours that Tracey's used on her packaging, you know, on the images that she's put on the packaging. Mine are a little bit more turquoise, I think, than green, but that's what I based my colouring on. You can colour them any way you like. If you like watercolouring, which I think is how Tracey does hers, I did try that and it looked hideous, so I threw it away. I'm not good with watercolours. I like pencils, and that's what I use more than anything else, so that's the way I went. These are my two little sentiments, and I've cut an extra piece. So I've stamped the sentiment, and then I've die cut it, because you get a die for every element that you've got a stamp for. And then I've inked some card with Tranquil Waters, and I've cut the same shape again, so that I've got sort of like a drop shadow behind the sentiment. I'm not sure whether you can see it. It's a little bit out of focus. Might show up better on that one. Can you see that little drop shadow on there? Because I just think it makes them stand out a little bit better. Okay, so I decided that the Life's a Beach, Find Your Wave was going on the front, and then this little dose of vitamin C was going on this one here. Okay, so time to decorate. This is the fun bit. I love this bit. So my little giraffe, or giraffe maid, or mermaid, I don't know what you want to call it, is going to sit. Was it going on the front? Actually, it was going on the front. Do you know, I can't decide now. Anyway, I think my little crocodile was going on the inside. Okay, and that's why I put the bubbles on I'll actually stamp them onto the card, because I've already inked and die cut some bubbles to go on the front here, because I didn't want to stamp them on this card. I actually want them to stand out, and because I've already embossed this paper, I needed to ink them and die cut them so that I can stick them on, and they'll still look good. So my little giraffe is going this side. My sentiment will go in the middle, and then my little bubbles will just go randomly up the page, like so. These are dead cute. I love these bubbles. And then my little hippo is going to sit on the front. So my hippo will go at a slight angle, because I think he's dead cute. My sentiment's going to go at the top. I might move that one actually. And then again, I'm just going to put some little bubbles on the front, like so. Nobody says they've all got to be above his little snorkel, do they? You always get bubbles in the water anyway. So that's going to be my decoration. Okay, so I will get down and stick them on. I'm not going to 3D them, because obviously if I 3D them, this isn't going to slide underneath here in the way that it did when I showed you at the beginning. All right, so I am going to just stick them down flat. I think I'm going to move that down a little bit so that it goes there. So I'll put that down first, and then I can add everything else. I can add my little bubbles around it. So this is dead simple card, so effective depending on what images you use to add to it. I'm going to hold that down for a second, because I'm putting it onto embossed paper, So obviously there are lumps and bumps behind that, so I need to make sure that it's going to stick. I'm not watching your comments, so I'm going to have to catch up with those later. Okay, so then I'm going to add my little giraffe. I think this is a girl. I think the hippo's a boy, and I think this is a girl, and I think that's a boy. I think all the others are boys, and this is the only girl. I mean, I might be wrong. Tracey might tell me I'm wrong. She might say they're all boys, or they're all girls. Don't know. But I just think they're so... And they don't have to be for kids' cards, you know? I know some people will look at this collection and think, well, I haven't got any grandkids or I haven't got any little children, so I'm never going to use them. I wouldn't just use them for kids' cards. I'd use them for anybody, because I think they're just... I just think they're cute. I think they're amazing. I mean, everybody likes a bit of fun, a bit of quirkiness from time to time, don't they? I think they're amazing. So then all I need to do is just add my bubbles down where I think they need to go. I won't use that one. A little bit too heavy-handed with a bottle that size, aren't I, for little bubbles like this? And I'm going to make sure that I put them at different angles, because they wouldn't look right if you did them all the same way, would they? I think you need a little bit of variety in how you place them, so bear that in mind as well. And I just think the little elements just give you that sort of finishing touch. I think they're really, really clever. I'm just sitting patiently waiting for 5 o'clock before I can order the bits that I need to get. Because I have tried once and it didn't work. Not that I'm impatient. I don't want you to get that idea. Me, never. Okay, so shall I put that one on or leave it? I'll leave that one. So then I'm going to put my little crocky down here. And this is why I wanted the piece of card that you write on a little bit higher, because I wanted his feet on the designer paper rather than actually sitting on the whole of the piece of card, because I didn't want to take up too much room. I obviously want to give people enough room to write their greeting. So I'm just going to sit him so that his tail just comes to just inside that designer paper on the background. And then we're going to put our last little bit on the front. I mean, this must be the quickest live I've done in weeks. But there are so many elements in this set that you can make, I don't know, a dozen cards in an hour, I reckon. Once you've cut everything out and you've got everything sort of set, ready to use, I think you could easily make a dozen cards in an hour, because you've got those fabulous hearts on the papers that basically are a card base that you just add one little image and a sentiment to, card made. And I think that's a really clever idea in itself. But then you could go to town and, you know, go really over the top. And that little fish tank that Tina did, how genius was that? It's probably a little bit impossible, Tina, for Lisa to do that. But I'm 100% happy with what I get, and I'll get the rest as and when I can afford it. So you keep looking, do you, Margaret? I'm not being funny. I know, you know, I'm on Lisa's design team, and you all think, well, you're bound to say you like it. But if I didn't like it, I wouldn't demo with it. So for me, this set has been so popular with the girls. How could I not demo it? It's gorgeous. And like I said, everything's available individually. So if you can't afford it all, and you know, we appreciate that. If you can't afford it all, but you want it all, get it a little bit at a time. You know, it's one of those sets that really you don't have to have it all to be able to make amazing cards. It's just such a clever kit that you could have 3 elements, you know, the papers, one of the sets of stamps, and one of the embossing folders, and you would be able to make loads of cards just with that. So, you know, don't look at it and think, oh, I can't afford it all, I won't get it. Just get a couple of pieces. Obviously, it'll go to Lisa's website after TV if it doesn't sell out, but I wouldn't want to risk it personally. I always have fear of missing out with Lisa's products, and this is no exception. So there you go. There's my little fun fold card using the Splash collection from the fabulous Tracey Hay and Lisa Horton. How gorgeous is that? I just think it's dead cute. I think it's such a clever little card. I love the way it sort of tucks in behind itself. So the card measurements, actually, let me just measure the finished. I think it's 6 inches deep, and it works out at just under 4.5 inches wide. So it'll go in a 5x7 envelope, or you could make one. Now you see, I did say I might use one of the WASHI stickers. I think I might actually. Let's go with Make a Splash because it matches my colour scheme, and we'll put the Make a Splash down here, on just right on the corner of that card, like so. You see, it just finishes the inside of the card, don't you think? I think that's really clever. I must remember to rub my writing out on the back of these pieces. So there you go. It's my cute little card, my little fun fold card using the Splash collection, and I think it's stunning. Tracey, Lisa, genius, absolute genius. You've drawn way too many characters to name them all. Well, yeah, I wasn't going to attempt to name them, but to me, they're all boys except this one. But they're genius. They're absolutely genius. Thank you, Tracey. I hope I did the set justice because it's brilliant. Oh, you're colouring tonight as well, are you, Lisa? Tracey's the genius. No, you're both a genius because you found each other. Tracey draws it, you get it made up. You know, teamwork makes the dream work. It's brilliant. So look out for 5 o'clock. I hope you don't break the website at 5 o'clock. I think it might be very, very busy at 5 o'clock. Don't forget there are other special offers on there as well, especially the glue is available, and I know people have been waiting for the glue, so don't miss out on that. The magnetic mat is an absolute game changer. I love mine. That and the tacky mat, I think that's on there as well. I don't think it's on special offer, but whether it's on special offer or not, I'd still buy it. So, you know, have a look, see what you think. But obviously, there's no point putting stuff in your basket now because it'll be gone by 5 o'clock. So log on at 5, but please don't break the website. So I will love you and leave you there. Claire's with you tomorrow. I have a feeling Claire's going to use this set as well because why wouldn't you? It's brilliant. And she'll be back with you on Thursday. And of course, Lisa's on TV tomorrow and Wednesday. So 6 p.m, 8 p.m, 10 a.m. on the Wednesday. And then the lovely Dawn Wheeler is doing 2 o'clock so that Lisa can get home and maybe help Danny, or maybe just put her feet up for 10 minutes. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again next week on Monday. So a fabulous week, everybody, and I'll see you very soon. Take care now.